And joining us now from New York is Sam Gregory, Executive Director of Witness, a global human rights and civic journalism network working to ensure that people are better prepared for deceptive AI and deepfakes. Sam, good to have you on the program. It's kind of scary, these things that we saw there in Patrick's report. You've also testified before both the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives on AI and synthetic media. How big of a problem is it with deepfakes today?
This is an escalating problem, and what you pointed to in the report is one of the three angles that are really growing. One is these consumer scams that often combine a falsified voice or a falsified video and a celebrity. The second are the nudification apps that are making it easier to falsify a fake sexual image of someone. And the third are the political and conflict deepfakes that confuse us about what's happening in the world.
So those three that you just counted, consumer scams, notification apps, and the political aspect of it, is there one that's more dangerous and puts more people at risk?
I think they're all dangerous, but they're dangerous in different ways, right? So consumer scams, they're growing. They're not the biggest part of it. Still, most scams are still conventional, old-fashioned ones. But the ways in which the quality is improving mean more and more of us are targeted, and we can't trust what we hear and see. So they're growing. They're a growing segment of scams. I think what's notable about the political ones is they're contributing to our uncertainty about what is real. So they're not actually about any given deepfake. They're about this idea that we live in a world of ambient uncertainty where we can't trust anything. And that's not great for our societies or our democracies.
I mean, I'm hoping that you are, in fact, Sam Gregory, that I'm talking to right now. But of course, I just don't know, I guess. I mean, considering what we just saw in this report. But how realistic are these deep fakes today? I mean, could you tell the difference if you looked at one real video and one fake video?
So the research says that we don't do well at doing that, right? When you show people 5 videos, 5 deep fakes, and say, spot which is the deep fake, about 1 in 5 people gets the right one, but other people guess the wrong ones. When you give someone an audio voice and the real voice of the same person, it's basically a coin toss whether people get it. And as you saw in your piece, it's getting easier and easier to do it even live. So, it used to be if you passed a hand across your face like this, you could see a disruption. But with some of the new tools, including open source tools, that doesn't apply anymore. And that means, I could be fake. It's absolutely true.
So there's just no way of knowing if you are, in fact, who you say you are?
So I think the way to know isn't to try and guess by looking, right? That's getting harder and harder. The sort of look harder, listen harder doesn't work. And it's not to put the blame on us as individuals for not spotting it. A lot of it has got to go back to bigger cybersecurity issues and also just thinking with the same kind of ways we've told people to think about cyber scams before. So for example, if someone tells you something that's too good to be true from an institution you trust, call that institution directly. Don't rely on the video you received on TikTok to start the transaction of money.
So if I want to protect my own privacy here and I want to make sure that no one grabs my face and starts using it to say, well, this is Per saying this and that, is there any way that I can actually protect myself from this kind of scam or someone stealing my identity and using it as a deepfake video?
For you, Per, I think it's impossible, right? Your face is out there, and I think it's impossible for most of us, right? It takes just a few seconds to generate a fake audio, slightly more to generate a fake video of a real person. And none of us are hermits. We live online. We have social media. So I don't think the solution is us not sharing content online. That doesn't work. And it puts way too much blame on us that, that 10 seconds you shared of yourself playing in the park with your kids could be used against you. Instead, we've got to insist on how do we make sure there are really strong red lines, enforcement, and a number of new techniques that were referenced in your piece around detection and provenance that really help us limit, the harms that can be caused by this technically.
One of those 3 things that you mentioned, the notification apps, of course, a lot of young people, especially women, they are subjected to that, having fake nude videos of them spread online. If someone finds these videos, if my daughter were to find this video of her online, is there anything that she could do to, remove it or find the person who did it?
So finding the person who did it is really hard. This is often a transnational crime, and it's very hard to track it down. There's typically two responses, and this again depends where you're based. One is you can report it to the company, right, and say there's a nude image of me on your platform. The second is you can report it to local law enforcement, and it is likely that you'll be able to get it taken down over time. The problem is the time lag, and the problem is the time lag is being allowed because many of these companies are allowing nudification apps to be sold on their platforms. Meta allows nudification apps often to be available on platforms like Instagram. And we only need to look back to January to see how Grok, Elon Musk's platform, was used to generate over 1 million images, nudified or sexually intimate images of women in the course of a few weeks. So the problem really doesn't sit with the individual, though you can and should report it. It sits with what we've allowed the platforms to do.
All right, Sam Gregory, really good to talk to you, and thank you so much for your expertise and insight into this subject.
Thank you, Pat.